Right. Let's start. Good afternoon, everyone, again. Um, so, today's discussion is now it's a very interesting subject, so that many people have registered. I think they will join soon, so that we can sort of have a deliberation or other discussion, fruitful discussion towards the end of the session. So let me start the session. So I have a small presentation. Let me share that. I hope my presentation is visible. Kaushalya, can you confirm, please?
Yes, Prasad, it's visible.
Right. Thank you. How to become a professional tax consultant? An interesting subject. So that, as I said, there was a lot of interest on the subject. So that there are a lot of registrations, and we can see many joining in, and also we can see a lot of known names are also there. So welcome everyone to this session. So now, generally, we do presentations, we do seminars on technical aspects, like uh, whenever there is an amendment, and when there are changes, amendments, and all that, we do sort of technical sort of presentation. Now today it's totally a different subject, where we are going to talk about how to become a professional tax consultant. So we initially thought of doing sort of a session because of a specific reason. So I'll explain you. But even when we decide the subject, we didn't have an agenda. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to discuss under this? So, but there is a real need that we understand, so that we decided to go ahead with this topic. In fact, the rationale behind selecting such a topic, in between all these technicalities, changes, and all that, is we see there is a gap, because in fact, I joined this field in 2009. So that time, even that time, when it comes to taxation profession, there was a gap. There were, questions about the professionalism in the field. But there are a lot of very good professionals in this country. But still, there are a lot of complaints in this industry, towards this industry. That is why we thought of, contributing. We have been contributing in many ways, that, and sort of contributing in this manner to develop this sort of a field to a great level. Because from 2009 to 2024, what we have experienced is, again, there were ups and downs. Now, again, here after the COVID and all these struggles, all these, problems, economic crisis, we are experiencing a sliding down of the professionalism in the industry. So, and also we want to, encourage younger generation, new people to come in, and, um, uh, you know, develop this industry. We being, again, younger professionals, practitioners in this industry. Let me claim the status young still. So that is the whole spirit of this. That is why we offered this as a free session, complimentary session, since it is beneficial to everyone. So, so with that, let's get into the discussion. It's not a presentation, but I have developed sort of a presentation so that my life will be easy. So here I have no technicalities. I have my own challenge. I am not going to use any technical word here. Any tax technical word will not be used in this presentation. That's a challenge for me. So, but we'll try to understand how to become a professional tax consultant, a professional tax consultant, right? So that if you are trying to sort of get into this field, or if you are just a starter trying to, figure out what field is better suited for you, so that you can understand all this. But if you have still questions towards the end, we can discuss. But again, I wanted to make this as a free sort of a flexible discussion, so that if you have questions even during the session, even during the presentation sort of speech or whatever you call it, you can raise your hands, not your voice first. You raise your hand, then we can discuss. Right. All right. So just before starting this, since it is important, because I just went through the participants list, there are CA members, there are MBA holders, there are degree holders, there are part qualified people, there are just after A-level students. So likewise, it's a very broader participation here. So that let me touch briefly about my journey, but let me make it very, very brief. So in fact, to confine it to the taxation, I started my tax journey in 2009. And now in 2024, from 2009 to 2021, I was at a very prominent consultancy firm in Sri Lanka. In fact, that time it was an extensive learning for me, experience for me, so that that gave me the strength, the knowledge, or whatever we call it, to serve the society. So that's enough, I think. Please keep your mics muted, so that we can proceed conveniently. Yeah. So now you can be a CA, or you can be whoever, a part qualified person or whoever. Now just take a moment, just take a breathe, and forget about what you have in your mind, right? So that's my request. Keep all your notions aside for a while, for a few minutes, and then let's try to understand, try to focus on this discussion. Now, developing a tax consultant, as I understand, is like constructing or developing a house. So for a house, you need a foundation, you need a proper structure, you essentially need a roof. Is that all? No. To live in this house, you need sort of disciplines, right? Right. So then the house is complete. You have the foundation, you have the structures. First you have the foundation, right? First you have the foundation, then structures, then the roof, right? Then all paintings and all that, then you complete your house. Primarily, we can see the foundation, structure, and the roof. And but not only limited, not limited to that, right? Once you complete all these three steps, now thereafter you have to live there. To live there, you need sort of disciplines, within your domestic. So the foundation in taxation, again, developing a tax consultant is also a similar thing. There is a foundation. What is a foundation? So these are, I mean, not, theories, but some thoughts that came into my mind, because I wanted to deliver something that is, important for you all. Because now you are trying to change your gears, right? Or to understand where you are heading. So then I wanted to give something very, brief but important. Right? So the foundation. So to become a tax consultant, primarily primarily what you should have. You should have your education. What do you mean by education? Can be academic education or your professional education. Right? So now here there are participants with different educational background. That's okay. But having educational background is very much important because you need to understand before everything, before taxation, you need to understand the environment, the society, the economy, how it behaves, basics, right? So how businesses work, right? How people think, right? Not only science, not only mathematics, not only commerce, but also how the societies behave, how people react. That matters. So that knowledge you gain throughout your formal education, maybe at your schools, maybe at your universities, wherever, especially at your schools. So under different subjects, you learn, and you learn a lot from your society. So that education, formal or informal, is crucial, very important for a tax practitioner. Going back to my case, sometime back I was a farmer. Sometime back I was a tailor. Right? Sometime back I was a salesman, an insurance salesman. Sometime back I was a supervisor in a garment, and I was um, a stores manager for a certain period, and I was an accounts clerk for a certain period, and thereafter an accounts executive for different types of companies. So then only of course, I worked as an audit, trainee for a certain period. So that counts a lot. It doesn't, you don't see that in your consultations, but that is inbuilt. Your mind, your soul will use this education that you gain during whatever the period when you know, engage in a work. Now we can see there are a lot of, matured gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen here. So you will certainly agree with me when you mature. So that is not only the education that you gain, it is not only the technical aspects that matters, even the other matters. Other learnings, other experiences. So that is the number one, the education. Then the tax knowledge. For you to become a tax consultant, first, forget about the professional word for a while. To become a tax practitioner, tax professionals, you need, of course, tax knowledge. What do you mean by tax knowledge? You have tax laws, regulations, all that are there. We call it the Inland Revenue Act, VAT Act, SSCL Act, so this act, that act, transfer pricing, etc., custom duties, etc. So you need to gain that knowledge. How do you gain that knowledge? There are two ways. One is you have formal ways of gaining that knowledge. That is, there are different courses. I don't need to name any of the courses here because it's not fair by others. So, but there are good, courses in Sri Lanka. You can enroll at different levels so that you can gain, a very comprehensive understanding about tax laws and regulations. But gaining tax knowledge itself is not sufficient for the foundation. So you need, of course, the experience. Very importantly, I said tax knowledge you can gain formally as well as informally. Of course, informal way roots to your experience. You don't go through a particular course, but you work for an organization which is involved in tax consultation. That is how we learn. So, but what is the experience that you are going to gain? Now, say for an example, now we at interviews, discuss question about the experience. You can say 10 years of experience, 20 years of experience. It's not about the period that you have worked there. It is about the exposure that you had during that period. So during my tenure, I'm highlighting these because those could be important for you. That was an extensive, sort of training or other experience or exposure. You can work for a firm where you entering data to RAMIs or whatever for 10 years. But you can work for some other firm where you are involved in different things. Not only entering data to RAMIs, drafting submissions to the Commissioner General, drafting appeals, legal interpretations, clarifications, opinion, liaising with legal counsels with regard to, cases at the courts. So education, tax knowledge, the experience, the most crucial thing, where you learn a lot. But the experience, is it only the technical side of it? No, should not be the case. Nowadays, it has been the practice. It is only the technical aspects you are trying to, gather. But from day one, I have, served as a peon. I mean, I was not a peon officially, but I worked as a tax trainee. But even the peons works, delivering documents, taking payments, to the banks, etc., etc. Because now we know exactly how to tackle the security guy if you are late. Right? We know how to tackle a bank manager, right? In a case of a issue. Those experiences matter a lot. Not only the interpretations and all that. Sometimes you don't need any interpretation. Sometimes it's about a simple thing, right? So that early days I had a habit. I wanted every year 30th November to I had a habit to visit Inland Revenue, whether there are urgent returns with me, that is the deadline. I wanted to visit because I want to get that exposure, the rush, the pressure. Right? So that gives me some energy and exposure experience, which can be blended with my other knowledge, experience, and all that. So that is the foundation: education, tax knowledge, experience. But you can have a foundation for years and years without a structure. We have seen such buildings when you travel. But we need to, develop. Now, say for an example, you do a particular course, right? Now, many of my friends are asking which course is better. Now I'm going to follow this. Now, but my primary question, if you are not into the tax practice, if you are working for a commercial business and doing, what is the point in doing such an extensive tax course? Because in few months, surely in few weeks, you are going to lose major part of the learnings. Surely, because that will happen to me as well. If I get out of the subject, the profession for 5 days, you will be losing a significant, part of your memory or memory power, or whatever. You have to be within that vibration area. Then only it keeps moving, then only it keeps growing. That is why it is very important not only to have the foundation, but start constructing the structure. To start the construction of the structure, you need to be in the ground. I mean, in the proper situation. That is where people are practicing the law, practicing the tax laws and regulation. In real world, you will see the act, you will see the returns, you will see the legal cases, you will see the court decisions, you will go through them, you will debate with others, you will, you know, that is how you grow. Even without talking, if you can stay at a practicing firm, so you will continue to grow. I have seen such people, they don't talk, but they are in the office. They will continue to grow, maybe at a different phase, but still they will continue to grow. At least they will continue to retain the updated knowledge. It is not only about having the updated tax rates, not only having updated, whatever the rules. Taxation is a very vast subject, right? So we are just beginners, if I understand correctly. So that we have to learn a lot, right? So but you can't stop with the basics. You can't stop with the foundation. If you have the education, okay, you can get into the tax education, tax knowledge. Thirdly, you have to gain the experience. That is the foundation. But with that, you can become a tax professional. You can become a, tax consultant rather. But if you want to become a professional tax consultant, you need a lot of other skills. That is the structure in my presentation, in my language. What do you need? You need analytical skills. Primarily important, you need analytical skills because the client comes with a lot of questions. So they don't know what to tell and what not to tell. Maybe individual client or maybe corporates, large corporates. They are not tax experts. They come with a lot of issues. So they will, vomit everything in front of you. So you have to analyze all whatever he has dumped and understand what is the issue. So analyzing a client's question will help you to answer his question. In my personal view, if you properly analyze the question and understand, 95% of the question is resolved. That is how I have seen. But whenever client comes to us, what we do is we analyze the question and we understand. Once we understand, we know exactly what answers to be given. So we know the structure of the answer as well. Right? So that is why I always tell my clients, ask me the answer, don't ask me my analysis, because it's so complicated for you. But I used to give them in the reports, but that is so complicated. But that is so important. You need to analyze. In analyzing, you need tax knowledge, you need your accounting knowledge, and all the other learnings and experiences that you have gathered are pretty much important. That is the first thing. Analyzing in the sense you are analyzing not only his question, looking at not only his question, but at the same time, you are applying the legal provisions, you are applying the other commercial understandings, economic, awareness, all that you understand from. Then you come up with your solution. Secondly, to become a professional tax consultant, you need to have a broader mindset, going beyond numbers and letters. Right? You can't consult, you can't be a professional tax consultant with the taxing statutes and the financial statements alone. Only with them. You need to have a broader mindset. You need to understand how economies work. You need some sort of an understanding. You need some understanding about accounting, business, how it works, accounting standards. You don't need to be a master of this field, but you need a reasonable understanding and a broader mindset, eagle eye. So you don't need to get into the question and see. You have to go beyond the question and see. That is why I used to say a consultant needs an eagle eye. You are looking from the sky, the question, then you can analyze very easily. You are not involved in the question, but you are looking at the question. Right? Otherwise, you will be struggling in the question. That is how what we have been, seeing in many of these different social media forums, especially in WhatsApp groups, which I principally do not agree. The WhatsApp is not for consultation, it is only for knowledge sharing. It's not a place to consultation because doctors, they have the theater for the surgeries. So you and me as professional accountants, right? The chamber, the office is the place where you do the consultation. The WhatsApp is not the place to do the consultation, and there are many wrong interpretations are being shared. So unfortunately, that is the situation. Right. So you need a broader mindset. Then the communication skills. It is not only about the language, the English or whatever. So you communicate basically with words. Is it only with the words? No. You communicate with your body. You communicate with your mind. Two minds are communicating. So that you need to carefully use your language for sure. You need a proper language, but at the same time, make sure you use your body language properly. You use your brain power properly. So that will sometimes you cannot explain your clients easily. But if you are fully, focused on the subject, so that even though the matter is so complicated, he will understand. But if you merely rely on the words or the letters that are in your letter, in an official letter, that's not going to help sometimes. So you should understand the client's question with a broader mindset, and you should communicate verbally, in writing, through your mind, through your body. All four language streams, or other communication streams, you call it, you have to use it. So even not only with the taxpayers, the clients, you are talking to the officials of the revenue agencies. So when you are talking to them, surely if you're talking with only with the words, only with the letters of a book or wherever, a letter, that's not going to help you. That may not be sufficient. So you need your mind power, mental power. You need your body language. Because all these speak. Then gain attention to details. As I said, client comes with a lot of issues, a lot of things. Some are relevant, some are irrelevant. But you need to give relevant, attention to the details. So there can be one important fact which can change your interpretation. That is why I say be a good listener. You can never be a good consultant without this. You have to listen. You are like a doctor. You have to listen. Sometimes some are, for sure they are not relevant. But let him talk. You can guide a bit. Let him talk. Let the taxpayer, let the client to speak and listen. So you will gain certain important facts, especially in tax planning exercises. Listening to clients business explanations are very important because they can be included in your planning strategies. in your advisors very crucially, because he knows his business better than us for sure. So that his findings, his ideologies will surely enhance the quality of your work. Then finally, again related, but I wanted this to, this as a separate point, have an open mind. So some used to listen, but they don't have an open mindset. Open mindset in the sense, some might come up with crazy arguments. You would see, what a crazy argument, that is wrong. I have experienced some clients are coming up with, it's not real for me, no way. But when I go through twice, when I go through again and again, I understand, no, there is a point in what he says, because there is always a communication gap between you and the client, because we are living in a cage. Being tax consultants, we are in the cage of tax, but they are in a different cage. So there is a communication gap. So better keep an open mind so that you will understand what he says. At least don't accept initially, but consider it. Consider it. Right. These are some of the important things. You can add more here to the structure, because you can change the structure according to the way you want. But I have given some important items under the structure of this building, which is pretty much essential. But if you want to make it much more beautiful house, you can add more, surely. But now we have the foundation, we have the structure, then we need a roof. So there are thundering rains nowadays, right? So that you need the roof to protect yourself. So what is that? You need continuous learning. Otherwise, you will no longer, you cannot practice for a very long period. Continuous learning is essential, especially in taxation. It is not only about, reading the amendment acts. It is not only about updating your knowledge about the tax law changes, but you can see there are many case laws being issued by the courts. There are different, updates, developments in this industry. There are different things, no? So you have to update your knowledge. Even whoever in the field, they have to update. Otherwise, you will be outdated very soon. This is a very dynamic industry, so that you will not be able to continue in this house. And that is why it is so important. That is like roof. Without a roof, you can't use it. You can't, that will be of no use. Then never forget ethics and social responsibility. So in this field, item 2 and 3 is very much important and critical. Respect laws and regulations. Never involve in corruption, bribes, so that you will be finished. If you engage in any of these activities, that's the end of your professionalism. So again, one more thing I wanted to highlight. If you want to earn a lot in a short run, better you do a business. If you want to be a professional and earn a lot of respect, get into this. So without this, this has been a problematic, problem for this industry, this field for a very long period. Even during our school times, we have heard about, tax frauds. Even when we were, in our, different stages of our life, we have seen this. And even now we are experiencing massively after the crisis. corruption. The language is mostly used, especially with regard to the revenue administration. So never involved in these kind of activities. That is your roof. So you will be sustainable if you are not engaging in any of these. Then our house is completed. So we have the foundation, we have the, what do you call, structure, we have the roof. So far I didn't use any technical word except the names of the revenue banks, some of the revenues, right? So that's a challenge for me. So now you can have a good house, but still you need some disciplines. Otherwise, you can't live there. So I have listed some of the disciplines. Here also you can add more, but don't add some of the crazy things that I have in some of my clients who are here, the experience. I have some disciplines that we cannot practice in this world, but I have listed down some of the things that you can practice in the real world. First, showcase your talents. It's not a sin. It's not a sin. From 2009 to 2018, though I had that time developed a lot of knowledge, lot of experiences, I never wanted to, go out and showcase my talents. I knew that I can do it, but I didn't do it because of many reasons. But if you are sure about your talent, if you are sure about your knowledge, why not you showcase it? Show it, share with us, share with others, right? That is how you develop your, career in this field. Otherwise, you will be working, you will be cornered like. So that don't let it happen. So to progress first, one of the important things is that showcase your talents. That is one. Respect in the sense you have to respect not only the people but your work. When you respect, you respond. When you respect, right, you are responsible. When you respect, you are reliable, right? You are responsible, reliable, responsive person. That's enough. That is why I have been telling my staff to be responsible. I'm not too much concerned about the education background, but the responsibility is crucial. The responsible person will do it somehow. That is very much important. When you respect others, you respond to others' email, you respond to others' queries, right? You have a responsibility. You know that before this date, I have to respond. That responsibility you have. Then if you are responsible and responsive, you are reliable. That's enough for the client. Then communications. When you are communicating with the others, as I said, always there is a communication gap. So make sure you advise your clients to, get whatever the special consultations in writing, because the words we utter, they don't understand sometimes at all. Sometimes they understand partly, right? Very rarely they understand fully. So that they might implement something else. So that it is highly recommended that you write them. Always write them. Because nowadays people don't have such patience to listen and understand what you say. That is the experience in most of the cases. We do consult companies, we do consult individuals, we do presentations, we do seminars or everything. From the questions we are getting towards the end, we understand they have not understood anything at all. So recently we have been conducting series of sessions to individual taxpayers. towards the end, we are getting some basic questions that we explain. So that is where we are living. So that write as much as possible. Your recommendation should be in writing. And importantly, networking. So if you are developing your own business, or if you're working for a different organization, right? Networking is crucial to become a professional tax consultant, because that is how you learn new things. That is how you find, new things. That is where you find new clients even. So even if you can advertise, even if you advertise your services, you will not get many. Very rarely you will get based on advertisement. A professional service, that's basically based on recommendation. So develop your networkings. You have technology, you have this thing, many things. So develop your technology. I didn't concerned about developing a network, professional network, till 2018. So then only I realized, okay, I have to go out, showcase, and develop the network. So from 2018 only, I'm in this exercise, in fact, which ideally should have started some time back. I'm you know, uh, giving these, personal experiences that will be beneficial for the participants, and then contribute. So contribute to the society. It doesn't mean that you need to advertise, you need to, consult, you need to advise on social media. I'm totally against advising on social media. So we have different groups, maybe WhatsApp, maybe Facebook. Yes, we do share certain things, but we never involved in consulting through the social media, because that is not the place, as I said, to do the consultations. Right? Because you respect yourself first. When you respect yourself, you don't ask others, you are not expecting others to, serve you via social media. Right? You don't ask your doctor to advise you, consult you over the phone or via social media. So why? We are respecting each other. So professionalism is that you are respecting yourself as well as the other professionals. Right? Then contribute to the others' development. If your friends are finding it difficult to find a job, you have to, help each other. And then live your life. Finally, it's a limited life, and it's a short life. It's a very short life, so that you have to live your life, because being a tax practitioner, you are dealing with deadlines and you are dealing with clients' money, right? So that's a very scary job in a way. But don't forget you have a life, right? So then, if you balance your life only, you can become a proper consultant, because unless you have a balanced life, your mind will not work in that manner. It has to be, in that state, so that you can properly think and advise your clients. With that, let me conclude my presentation or speech or whatever you call it, saying, don't try to become a prominent figure, but strive to be a person of strength. So if you try to become a person of strength, surely you will become a prominent figure. Right? Thank you. So if you have any questions, we can discuss. So not technical questions, because today it's not a technical discussion. It's just a free sort of a discussion, a flexible discussion rather. So that if you have any questions regarding whatever the things we discussed or something relating to the subject, we can now discuss. First, raise your hand and you can then discuss. So
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yes. I just joined because I stuck within Inland Revenue. Can I have this recording from the beginning itself? If
Sure,
it's
we
okay.
will. Yeah, we'll try to share this recording. Don't worry. We'll try to do it.
Because I want to open a text file, so I stuck over there. That's what it's
All right.
happened. So
Okay.
very
That's
sorry for
okay.
that.
Sure. Okay. So I understand there are no technical issues to be clarified here, so that you don't have much questions. So that with that, if you don't have questions, we can conclude the session. So that we thank everyone for joining this. So this was a genuine effort to contribute this society, to the development of this society. Otherwise, we'll be continuing the same issues in the future as well. So we, as this generation, we have a responsibility to contribute towards this society. Otherwise, there's no point in being professionals. So that is what we did, and it's a genuine effort. I hope you gain at least something out of this session. So thank you everyone for joining this session, and have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, sir.
Thanks a lot.